after the game, I flip over to ESPN, and ESPN still rolls out Chris Berman, and they had him on the desk to do highlights, and they were over in like 90 seconds.
Yeah, there wasn't much.
They had the draft song, which we, of course, have just turned into the draft song, but it's an ESPN primetime song that they used for highlights. They amongst like 5 or 6 songs that they used, that was one of their highlight songs, and they had that song. It barely made it to the part where you get fired up. Like it was nothing. The highlights were over like that. You think about all games, big highlight play you want to see again.
Tom Brady drops back, throws deep to Gronkowski.
That was it.
Yeah,
that was like the highlight in the game.
Next play, they head off to Sony Michel. Great block by the fullback and touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Back to you guys.
248-539-9797. Let's go to Ed in Waterford. You're next. Hi, Ed.
Hey, Ed.
Eddie.
Ed?
Yep.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Come on, man. Wake up.
No, I was cut out my phone. Hey, guys.
Hey.
The thing that's different about the Lions and all the teams that we talk about, throughout the season of football is that this Lions team has zero identity. It's not a coach. It's not a special team. It's not a defense. Not a secondary of the defense. Not an offense. There's really no identity to this team.
Well, they have to form it. I mean, it doesn't. I don't know how many teams that have 5 or 6 wins on a season have an identity.
I know, but this is a team Gator that won 9 games last year.
Well, this. What would you? I mean, they made a change at head coach. You're going to change your identity completely if you have a change in head coach.
So essentially, but you had the same team as you had last year. Essentially, the players are the same. So you took a step back by 4 games, and what seems to be a lame duck coach going into next year. A lot of questions about a GM who not quite sure he knows what he's doing. So you're going to be in the same kind of predicament.
Well, it's something they have to, Ed, I would agree with you. It's something that they need to develop. They need to figure out what they can lean on, what they're really good at. And they played better defense last year. I think they'd clearly like to feature Kerryon Johnson, and hopefully he is healthy enough, and their offensive line, which continues to feel like it's not performing at the way, given the resources they put into it, you'd expect.
Ed, if you had to guess for this upcoming season, do you think the Lions will have an identity, first of all? And if they do, what do you think the identity will be?
If I got to believe its identity, it's going to be back to offense. Because Stafford, I don't believe, is going to be what he was this year. Especially, like you said, if that line can come back together and Johnson can carry the ball and be healthy, I think, get a receiver, they can be one of the more elite offenses. But it just seems like right now you threw everything into a bag, you shook it up, and the bag is empty.
If I asked you, Doug, the same question, what would you say?
Their identity next year?
Yeah, because I think you and I might have different opinions than the caller.
Okay, if things go right, okay, I think they might be pretty good on defense if things go right.
I agree with you. I think the identity of this team is going to be one that defensively they're going to bring it every week, and they're going to be tough to score on. And offensively, I think it's a team that's going to run the football.
And that's...
I think it might be boring offensively, but I think it's...
How did the Patriots just win a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
And the problem is that playing the role of Tom Brady will be number 9. And he's not Tom Brady.
He's not.
And so you better be better than the Patriots were defensively or better at running the football, and those seem like a stretch as well. But, hey, baby steps.
Well, I like Kerryon Johnson better than Sony Michel. So that part I like.
I like the Patriots' offensive line way better.
Their offensive line seem to handle things pretty well.
248-539-9797. Okay, you got the predictions?
I do, Doug.
Okay. Of the people on the show or the people in the building that you got predictions, who did the best?
Ryan Woolley was closest.
Okay.
And he wasn't close.
Okay.
He had...
Who did the least poorly? Maybe that's the way we should characterize it. Who did the least poorly?
He had the Patriots winning at 34-17. So a 51-point total.
Okay.
The calls that we got and the ticket text that we got brought about an interesting average. The vast majority of people, in fact, 74% of the people who ticket texted in or called in had the Patriots winning the game. And the average score was 32-26.
So not that close.
Not that close.
This happened.
So you may ask, now, we took a bunch, probably close to 50 different predictions, right?
Yep.
Of the 50 different predictions, the closest we got to either score was from Chris in a UPS truck. Chris was on several people that had the Patriots scoring 27 points. That was the lowest total you can get for the Patriots in a winning cause, was 27 points.
Really?
And he had the Rams scoring 17. So 27-17.
Was the least poor prediction that we got.
As far as getting it close to each team.
Well, congratulations to Chris in a UPS truck.
Now, Matt in St. Clair Shores had fewer points, but he had the Patriots with 31 and the Rams with 9. So closer on the Rams, but further off on the Patriots. But this was just unbelievable to me that the lowest over-under total we had was 40 points. The second lowest was 44.
Well, the Vegas odds on one touchdown being scored in the game,
I saw that,
were 50-1.
Yeah.
50-1. So 248-539-9797. John is in Wixom, and he's next. Hi, John.
Hey, how you doing? My champ is Tracy Wolfson for getting through more defensive guys than anybody on either offensive team. And my chump is all those guys trying to trample her, keeping her from her interview.
It was strange. I would imagine that when the NFL looks back at their on-field policy, you might see some things different next year, because that was borderline scary. Eventually, some pretty beefy security guys showed up. Now, as a viewer, I found it fascinating because you just kind of heard the microphone picking up conversations, including the security guys asking Tracy Wolfson if she was okay. And for people who missed it,
Romo and Nance were just letting it go.
They just let it go. So you could hear Brady talking to Belichick, Brady talking. I think Robert Kraft made his way in there, and eventually Edelman. Then just sort of kind of the natural moment, which was probably more interesting than anything they say when they know they have a mic and a camera on them. But there was an element of, hey, is everybody going to be okay here?
Yeah, it was a little scary.
Yep. Thank you for the phone call. As far as the actual game, you mentioned the sequence that basically turned this football game. And it started with Brandon Cooks dropping a touchdown pass. And I know the Patriots DBs arrived moments after, but he had started to drop that before they got there.
Yeah, I had it in both hands, and I had it in one hand, and it squeezed through the other one. It was a catch he should have made.
This is 5 minutes to go in the game, and it's a catch he should have made. And then the next play, on second down, Jared Goff throws an inexplicable jump ball. If I'm in Los Angeles doing this show today, that sequence is one that's hard to get past because you would have had a tie game. Now, a tie game and giving Tom Brady the ball with 5 minutes to go isn't exactly a recipe for success, but it's better than throwing an interception. The other topic is, and will continue to be, the mystery of what the hell happened with Todd Gurley and why he was such a small part of the Rams' postseason game plan. And everybody is speculating that he's hurt, and he said it again at the podium yesterday. No, I'm fine. I'm good. Now, generally when the season ends, you find out, yeah, he's been playing with a torn ligament in his elbow or something, right? I mean, there's always something. And, I don't know. I can't get over how he became such a little part of their game plan. And they tried to get him involved in the second half. I mean, but he had 3 carries in the first half.
Yeah, the Rams didn't look like they were trying to run the football all that much. They only ran it 17 times in the game. I don't know how much that was dictated from Gurley's health. I thought there were plays that he made when he looked fine. I thought he looked fine. I'm not going to chalk it up as an injury to Todd Gurley. I'm going to chalk that up as just the Patriots did a great job defensively. And again, as I said earlier, I think the Rams shot themselves in the foot several times after having a nice gain on first down. They'd come out there on second down and take a penalty of some kind that puts them in a bad position. But I'm going to further pile on Jared Goff having an awful game. he took a sack on one play where it ended up being a huge loss. He also missed a play. I think it was the possession before the Cooks pass. He took a shot deep down the field on the left side and overthrew the receiver, who wasn't open. But as Tony Romo pointed out, he says he's going to kill himself. He's going to kick himself in nether regions if he watches this later on, and showed the player who went a deep square in pattern.
Yes. Yep.
Was wide open.
Yep. Which probably would have gotten to field goal range.
Yes.
He missed Cooks in the end zone earlier in the third quarter when he was open, and he put out a leather rainbow instead of firing a dart, which allowed the defense to recover. You're right.
Leather rainbow.
That's what it was.
I like it.
All right. How does this all, if at all, circle back to the Lions? We will get to that at 11:05. More of your Champ and Chump calls as well. It's Karsch and Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket.